I'm about to obtain the most broken armor set in Minecraft. It lights enemies aflame, insta-kills spiders, gives looting 3 drops, and makes you almost unkillable by even some of the strongest mobs. It's called Notch Armor, a set of Protection 5 armor that has every OG Minecraft enchantment on it, as well as the newer armor enchantments like Swift Sneak. Since the method for getting it works on any item with durability, I'll also be obtaining a full set of Notch tools. To get these items, we have to play in some of the oldest Minecraft versions and slowly work our way back to the present, taking advantage of some of Minecraft's most broken bugs and glitches along the way. And we're doing it all in hardcore mode. If we can pull it off, we will have created the most ridiculously powerful set of items in hardcore Minecraft history. To begin the challenge, I created my new hardcore world. I gave it the only acceptable name, started it up in beta 1.9 pre-3, and started gathering resources. Not only does starting in this version allow me to spawn in with a stack of end portal blocks and end portal frames, but while in development, Jeb coded the game to add glass pillars that spawn above end strongholds to make them easier to find. Since we'll need a ton of books, I can come back to these strongholds later and steal library books rather than craft them myself. After running around for a couple hours and finding 2 strongholds, I set up a base with some mob spawners to get XP, I upgraded my version to beta 1.9 pre-4, and I got my hands on a Silk Touch pickaxe. To get all the enchantments we'll need for notch items, it'll take a ton of food. Farming XP in early versions wears down our saturation and hunger so much that I could go from completely full to starving twice between level 0 and 30. Not only that, but did you notice when I enchanted the Silk Touch pickaxe that I went from level 30 to 0? Enchanting will be a serious problem, but I have a plan. One of the best foods in the game is cooked meat, and if I can get enough of it quickly, it would help me get the armor and tools that much faster. It could take almost a full chest of cooked meat just to finish this armor, and farming all that normally just wouldn't be fast enough, but I have a better way. See, this is the version where Silk Touch was first added. Normally, you can't pick up spawners with Silk Touch, but here, you can. Because it's bugged, the game doesn't actually remember what mob was in the spawner when you picked it up, so when you place it back down, it defaults to the base mob. Pigs. This does actually work, and if I set it up right, I can create a pig spawner farm to get infinite pork chops. But this introduces another problem. Due to my potential undiagnosed OCD, I really want a stack of these, but they aren't easy to find. They spawn pretty frequently in mine shafts, but you can go a while without finding one if you're unlucky. After literally hours of searching the internet and almost losing hope, a beam of light from the heavens fell upon me in the form of a 14-year-old video from this YouTuber. You can watch his video for the specifics, but long story short, he stumbled upon a glitch that does this. It's kind of like a window into spectator mode. Not very useful for finding diamonds, but since spawners are always in the center of a given room, it's perfect for them. So by using this glitch, we should get our spawners a lot faster. Let's get started. It still took me 6 hours. I ended up going overboard and got more than half a stack of extra spawners, but I can't imagine how long that would have taken without the glitch. Now that I have them all though, I can build a simple pig spawner farm inside my base so I can simultaneously AFK the mob grinder and farm food at the same time. With that, it's time to upgrade to 12W49A. Now that I can't see through walls anymore, I'll start gathering the materials we'll need to make the armor. After utilizing my high school math skills, I discovered that it would only take 735 diamonds to craft all the armor and tools I need. 735? By the time I get all those, I'd probably have enough iron and gold to make notch armor sets of those too. Hold up, wait a minute. That's not a bad idea. What if instead of just one notch armor set, I made an entire notch armory? It's decided. I'm going to get a notched armor set of each type in the game, including leather and chainmail. So this just got a lot harder. Now it's time to go strip mining. To start, I spent about 30 minutes digging this tunnel, and now I'll be branching out in every direction. After more than 10 hours, I finally have all the diamonds, gold, and iron I need for those armor sets. All that's left to grab is leather and chainmail. After temporarily turning my house into a cow farm to get most of the leather I needed, it's time for the worst of them all, chainmail armor. You can only get it either as a rare drop from mobs or from villagers. I naively thought that my mob grinder might be fast enough, But after doing more math, it looked like the spawners would take at least 32 hours. So yeah, that's not happening. I guess villager trading is my only option. The nearest village I could find was a little too far, so I'm going to use the nether to shrink how far I have to drive these guys. What? Let's go. Hold up. Side quest, we're going to find some blaze rods real quick. Blaze rods acquired. After building the portal to take me to the village, I very slowly transported some villagers over to my base. I built the 1.4 equivalent of a villager breeder, stuck my boys inside, and after a short AFK session, there were enough villagers for me to get started. I was hoping to avoid working with the old villagers because the old trading system sucks. They don't restock once or twice a day like modern villagers do, they only do it if you buy enough of their newest trade. And since sometimes the newest trade is something like a 17 emerald diamond chest plate, I frequently had to spend that much just to be able to buy 2 pieces of chainmail armor. I ended up building a sugarcane farm, and with that and the sales from my pork chop business, I started to make some progress. Well, I finally got all the chainmail I needed. It only took me 12 hours. Now that we have everything we need for our armor and tools, I've realized I have a problem. I've done enough enchanting with this mob grinder setup to know that it isn't going to be fast enough. Even if I no-lifed it as hard as I could, I'd only manage to get 5 level 30 enchants an hour. Considering that it will take more than 18,000 levels in total to get the 630 enchanted books that I need, this just won't be fast enough. The problem is, getting experience in this version is pretty tough, and there aren't many good XP farms available. I took some time to look around though, and after a little bit I found a video by this YouTuber. His Enderman farm has the potential to speed up my progress several times over, but in order to create it, I have to beat the game. Now, I do still have these end portal frames and blocks that I spawned in with, but rather than use them here, we're going to beat the game right. I already have my blaze rods, and I've been stocking up on pearls for a while, so all we really have to do is go to one of my glass-marked strongholds near spawn, and we're good to go. Alright, the stronghold should just be right beneath this, so we're just going to mine down, and oh, there we go. Okay, now let's find the portal room. After fighting my way through the stronghold for a few minutes, I found the portal room, crafted my Eyes of Ender, lit the portal, dropped some unnecessary items, and hopped in. Oh, nice. Okay, sweet. I had the Ender Pearl in my hand just in case the Enderdragon tried to knock me off, but I guess fate is on my side. Since we're in 1.4, this is the OG Enderdragon fight. And I think it's a little too easy, honestly. Since if you do it right, you can do the whole thing without the dragon ever damaging you, since she doesn't shoot fireballs, and every time she gets near you, you can just shoot her, and she's like, okay, my bad, never mind, I won't do that then. And then she just flies away. The main downside, though, is that there are more obsidian pillars, and they're all over the island rather than in a neat circle, so I've got to run around a bit. No, come back. I want to hit you with my sword. Dang. Okay, well, I can't miss that. What am I doing? Give me that dragon egg. We're out of here. Alright, there we go. Now it's time to build our Enderman farm. Alright, now that we've beaten the game the right way, I don't feel bad about using this anymore. So to save myself from traveling 1,000 blocks every single time I want to go to the end, I'm just going to go place this right there. Now that we have our new entrance figured out, it's time to gather the materials for the farm. Luckily, since I'm a bit of a hoarder, I have everything I need except for wood. So after grabbing a little bit of it, we were ready to go. The worst part of building this farm is that we have to go down to the lowest Y level in the end and bridge out across instant death for 128 blocks before I can build the base. I am actually white knuckling it on the keyboard right now. This is so stressful. I hate doing this without an Elytra. Oh, okay, we made it. Now we just gotta cover up the top, waterlog it, then we can build the bottom of the farm and waterlog that too. With that done, I started bringing over some of the materials we need for the armor. After stealing all the Stronghold library books, I came back and brought those over as well. Then I got myself an enchantment set up, I made a bunch of chests for all the enchantments we'll be getting, and then I had to make all the different items that we'll be enchanting. Now let's build the rest of this farm. First, we build a couple layers of rings to keep the Enderman from falling out, then we'll get started on the actual layers of the farm. We'll place the tripwire, build the cross, and place redstone. Now we'll place the pistons and the string, without falling off and climbing back up. Repeat on the other side, and cover it up. Now we just do all that 19 more times. Now, before we start grinding XP, I tested the farm, and I ended up averaging about 25 enchanted books an hour, about 5 times faster than the mob grinder in my base. Though this is a huge improvement, it will still take me at least 24 hours at my top speed to get all the enchanted books I need. And that's only if I get the right book every time. Worst case, I could be in here for more than a month. Considering that, I decided to save some time by using backups here in case I get bad enchantments. Let's get started. So here are almost all the ingredients for notch armor. A full set like this for every OG enchantment. Now, we're going to bring these to the overworld, and we're done with the end for a while. We'll still need to get the newer item enchantments after we upgrade our world again, but before we do, I'm going to place down some of my pig spawners for a better pig farm later, and I'm going to slap some enchantments on some of my items just for fun. Next, I upgraded to 1.9, crafted some notch apples, and then I updated my world to 1.12.2. It's time for me to get an Elytra. After wiping the floor with the Enderdragon, I hopped through the end gateway and started looking for an Elytra. I always hate this part, and we're good. Oh, doth mine eyes deceive me? Pleasure doing business with you. Let's slap on breaking on this one, and then we'll go try to find one more. Well, hello, beautiful. I'll take that. Once I got back, I placed my Unbreaking 3 Elytra and all my level 5 items into my Protection 5 chest. Then I updated my world to Snapshot 18W21A. Once here, I renamed everything in the chest, including the Elytra and the other items I added, and put them all back in. On top of that, I'm also going to rename the enchanted armor set I'm wearing and place it in the chest. For those who don't know, renaming the item in this version is required for the Prot 5 glitch. Once I was done renaming everything, I upgraded my world to Snapshot 18W22B. Now, every enchantment on every item in this chest has been changed to protection. You may notice here that my fully enchanted diamond set now has a bunch of protection enchantments on it. You might be thinking, mistaken, why didn't you lead with this? This armor is obviously way better than Prot 5. But that's where you're wrong. This armor is completely pointless, and I'll prove it to you in a minute. Now that we know the glitch worked, it's time to upgrade our world again to get some newer enchantments. Time for a quick trip to 1.16. I built a simple villager breeder and trading hall and obtained all the new armor and tool enchantments, and I also grabbed Curse of Vanishing. Since tridents and crossbows were added more recently than everything else, I can't make notched versions, but I can still make illegal ones, so I grabbed 2 of each. Now it's time to upgrade to 1.20. Now let's go back and check on my multi-protection armor again. Well, looky here! Not only did the extra prot enchantments get deleted, but it didn't even keep the best ones. So yeah, pointless. This is what will happen to any armor like this. So if I get one more comment about this, or the skeleton horseman helmet, I'm gonna lose my mind! I still need a couple copies of Swift Sneak, so I'm going to Ancient Cities to grab some. I had very bad luck, and ended up having to search 3 ancient cities. But I got all the Swift Sneak books I needed, and I even found a Silence armor trim. With Swift Sneak 3 on each type of leggings, we're ready to create the greatest armor of all time. To do that, we'll need to upgrade to 24W11A. This snapshot has an overpowered bug in the Grindstone that allows us to copy the enchantments from one item onto another of the same type. Now you may understand why we did all that work getting those copies of armor sets and tools. With this glitch, we can combine all of them onto one piece and get our first piece of notch armor. Look at that, it's beautiful. Now I have to do that for every armor piece, weapon, and tool. We officially have a full notch set of each armor and tool, except Netherite. The nice thing now though, is I can just buy more armor from the villagers and copy and paste the notch enchantments, and then I can just upgrade one of those and still have my diamond set. By the way, you may have noticed the fact that I didn't seem to care about the order I added the enchantments. That's because no matter how you add them on, the game will reorder them when you leave the game and rejoin. I guess it's just something about how enchantment tags are stored. I don't know. Before we go grab our Netherite, one last thing. I want backup notch Elytras. I want at least a shulker of them. So I'm going to the end, and I don't really know pro Elytra finding strats, so I'm just going to fly in a straight line until I have a full shulker of Elytras. Okay, it's been an hour and a half. I got the full shulker of Elytras I needed, but I realized I was kind of dumb. I'm almost 50,000 blocks out now, and I can't seem to find an end gateway to get back to the main island. I guess I could just start flying back and hope to find one on the way. I'll move over a couple thousand blocks or so, and then I'll at least be able to loot more cities on the way back. I never found a gateway. I literally had to fly about 50,000 blocks back. On the bright side, now I have 2 shulkers of backup Elytras. After enchanting my backups and making a full shulker of backups for each notch item, I can finally upgrade my game to 1.21.8. With my current base having outlived its usefulness, I moved my base of operations back to spawn. All that was left now was to upgrade 22 sets of diamond armor and tools to Netherite. It shouldn't be too bad. I only needed to mine about 850 ancient debris. Oh, and more than 1,000 diamonds to make all the Netherite smithing templates I need. Yippee! Since I don't have a smithing template yet, I'm going to go get one before I do anything else. On my way back, I grabbed some ancient debris so I can upgrade the notch armor that I'm currently wearing. The first full set of Netherite notch armor. Now it's time to get more diamonds. Before leaving, I built a simple wool farm to work while I was gone so I could make beds for my Netherite search, and then I went mining. After spending so much time mining for diamonds in old versions, I can say with authority that it is way too easy to get diamonds now. In the time it took me to get a stack of diamonds in 12W49A, I already had more than 500 in this version. I've never really built anything like this to mine diamonds before, but it should be fun. It only took me an hour or two, and I was all done. All that's left now is the ancient debris. I've been bed mining for almost an hour, and this is not going very well. Beds start a lot more fires when they explode, and if I want to make sure I don't miss any netherite, I have to put most of them out. I think I've got to call an audible. Unlike beds, TNT doesn't start fires when it explodes, and if you set it up right, you could even chain TNT explosions together and search huge areas all at once. But to get the amount of TNT I'd need, I'll need a gunpowder farm. Now, I didn't go crazy and build a max efficiency farm, just a simple one that would be easy to build. Even this simple one, though, will produce about a shulker of gunpowder an hour, which is enough for what I need. After getting a good supply of gunpowder and emptying a desert near spawn, I had enough TNT to get started. I've never had to get this much ancient debris at once, so this will be quite the experience. Finally, after 19 hours, I have all the netherite and templates I need to upgrade not only a full set of netherite notch armor, but all the diamond sets we used to make it as well. With this, the challenge is technically done. I have all the items, but something doesn't feel right about leaving all the armor in a chest. I have to put them on display. While trying to think of a build worthy of the armor it will hold, I was reminded of one of the most well-known Minecraft builds of all time, the Temple of Notch. It was indeed worthy, but considering that I'm kind of breaking his game, he looks a little too happy to me. So I think we have to darken it up. I'm thinking of making it nether themed rather than using the overworld blocks that the original uses. So I'm going to grab a bunch of blackstone as the base. I think crimson stem with that texture will look pretty good as hair, so we'll grab that, and maybe some weeping vines as well. With that, I got to work. The original build is built into a cliff, but I want this near spawn, so I'm going to build this one out a little and then mine down to make the cliff deeper. I wasn't excited about building so many overhanging blocks on a sheer cliff face, but then I realized that I had a couple dried ghasts in the chest. So Chester was born. With his help, building Notch's new face was a breeze. Yeah, he looks angry enough. With that done, I got started on the courtyard beneath his face. I want the feeling to be that he's so pissed off at me for breaking his game that he's breaking the boundaries between dimensions in an attempt to destroy my world. And now the nether's starting to leak through the cracks he creates. I'm going to layer glass on top of this lava to try to give it kind of a nether portal vibe. I probably didn't execute that right, but I think it looks good. Now I just need to make some little nether biomes here. While I built those, I realized that I could add some basic nether structures in here as well, and since I have some extra spawners I never placed, I was able to make a pretty convincing blaze spawner portion of the nether fortress, as well as a recreation of the bottom of a treasure bastion with a magma cube spawner. With all my biomes and structures done, it's time to get to work on where I'm putting this armor. I'm planning on his mouth being the entrance to the Armory of Notch. Maybe the lore can be that when the people realized that the world was on the verge of being destroyed, they offered him the broken items as a sacrifice in an attempt to calm his anger and stop their destruction. Now, I'm going to work off screen for a moment since I want the armor to be part of the final reveal, but I will say that I needed to do a bunch of piglin trading and run around mining blocks at a couple bastions to get the materials I needed. After a couple hours of designing and another couple hours building, it's done. Let me turn on my shaders real quick. Finally, welcome to the Armory of Notch. Alright, I'll admit, that was a little dramatic, but considering the fact that this room is the culmination of all my effort over the course of 2 months of work, I feel like I kind of deserve it. In this room, we have a full set of notch armor of each type, almost 60 notch elytras, and all of the impossible component armor sets that makes notch armor possible, all organized by enchantment. Since each of these armor sets is impossible and unique, I'm starting the process of naming each of them and giving them a trim. I already did that for the leather notch armor set here. If you know, you know. If you guys can think of any funny, punny, or legendary names for any of these armor sets, drop it in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching, you guys, especially those that made it this far in the video. I ended up spending more than 300 real-life hours on this project, so if you liked what you saw, consider leaving a like and subscribing. I'll see you all in the next one.